Welcome back, folks, to another scorching episode of the Wet Shavers Roundtable, episode 37. And I'll be your host, as well as these other guys surrounding me as well. We have David Gonzalez of So Sharp Limited below me, possibly. I said below me, possibly.
Yeah.
And we also have Scott Austin Miller, the clean shaver, with us, as always. And our very, very special guest today, we have Mr. Matthew Pisarcik, or Matt Pisarcik, as I like to call him, of the Razor Emporium.
Howdy, guys.
And this is going to be another episode, of Vendors, Big Shave West Vendors Edition episode, where we're going to, spotlight another vendor that will be at the up-and-coming event. And it's growing every day, let me tell you. I was just found out yesterday that Soap Commander is going to be there as well. Darren PM'd me, so yep, Soap Commander is going to be there. Mickey Lee
nice.
Mickey Lee Soapworks is going to be there. That it's official now.
Yes.
And Matt has some actually exciting news too. Oh, we just lost David. Where is he?
That's okay.
Yeah. Priorities, right? But,
he's going to give me the lashing when he gets back.
Right. So not only will vendors and artisans be there, just shooting the breeze with people, they will also be a lot of demos happening. I know Nathan Clark will be turning brushes. Yeah, and maybe some other brush makers as well, turning brushes as well. But then me and Matt were bouncing ideas the other day while he was, traipsing through the airport, world traveler that he is, actually just coming back from his honeymoon. And good on you for that. But he will be demoing his whole repair service, and so people will be. We're encouraging everyone out there who's watching that will be attending the Big Shave West to bring a vintage piece from their collection, and Matt and his crew will revamp it for you or tune it up on the spot, as well as demonstrating some of their revamped services.
Cool,
that's awesome.
As Matt, that's how Matt does it. That's his tune-up. He just takes it and shaves with it. But yeah, so that's another. I think it's a very cool demo that I'm definitely going to be bringing a piece for. There'll also be. We're working on getting barbers there as well. Last year we had a barber there that was doing straight razor shaves. He was charging. However, we're looking for some that will want to demonstrate their talents and whatnot, and hopefully build a following and whatnot. But do demo shaves, so free straight razor shaves. That's what we're looking into right now as well. So it's all coming together. And with that said, I don't want to take any more time away from our special guest, Matt. There's a lot of people out there there's not a lot, but there's a few maybe. There's a lot of noobs that don't actually know who you are, even though you've been interviewed many times, probably like more than many times by me alone. But we need to break it down for these guys. So rather than just jumping into your whole backstory, let's do a little nickel tour of the mind and the work of what Matt Pisarcik has brought to the table in wet shaving with the Razor Emporium. It's all you.
Okay, hey, great. Douglas, I really appreciate thank you very much. I really appreciate being asked to be on the show today, and to the other co-hosts. Thank you guys for having me. I got into wet shaving 10 years ago in 2005, 2006 time period. I was in college and looking for a better way to shave. I had a lot of irritation issues on my neck and just really couldn't get a good shave with electric razor or cartridge razor, much like, a lot of you guys out there. And so I dove into looking for something better. And the first thing that everyone told me and I read was, grab a Merkur 34 HD. And that's a common thing that everyone hears. And I was in college and kind of cheap. And I was like, I just don't like that idea of experimenting with 40 or 50 bucks. So instead I went out to an antique store and I got a vintage razor. And at the time, 10 years ago, there wasn't a lot of information about how to fix them, how to clean them, how to sanitize it, how to use it. And so it kind of put me down this rabbit hole of exploring all this. And as I was, figuring it out, I was like, maybe there's other guys that want to know this too. And so before you know it, I started, researching and buying a lot of razors and selling them. And it kind of turned into now 10 years later, my day job, my passion. And I'm happy to say that today Razor Emporium is not only an online business that we sell online to people. We also have a brick and mortar location. I'm here today in my lobby. We just actually finished store hours for the day. And people, turn to our YouTube channel and our blog to learn a lot more about wet shaving and techniques and repair advice. And I'm just happy to be part of the wet shaving movement, as I call it, and here to help however I can.
Very cool.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
Congratulations on
You guys
having
have
an
any more
actual store.
questions? I don't know, Scott. I don't know if you met. Have you guys met before?
No.
Hi, Scott.
Okay. Yeah. So
We've
Scott,
talked online, but not voice talking. Yeah, actually, I do. So I've had a few things come up in my mind as I've been thinking about our show for today. So do you remember what that first vintage DE razor was? What was the?
The very first vintage razor. I actually have photographed it before for different blogs and stuff. I think it was a 40 super speed, a red tip super speed. I grabbed like 5 or 6 one day. This was back when you could walk into an antique store and you would find 5 or 6 vintage razors for $5 or $10 a piece. And so I grabbed all of them. And I was like, I was going to spend $50 in a Mercure. Might as well spend $50 on a bunch of vintage razors. But yeah, I think it was a super speed, and I still recommend super speeds to this day because they're such mild to medium razors, and almost everyone can find a good shave out of one.
Yep, absolutely. Cool.
Nice. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you're good. I've got other questions for later.
David.
Oh, I'm allowed to ask a question now, Douglas?
We voted. Yeah.
All right, so Matt, one of the services that you offer on your website with your company is replating for vintage razors or probably any razors. For those of our watchers that are not familiar with your company, what type of materials are you able to replate with, and also which one would you consider the most durable of all the materials?
Right. That's a good question. We get that question quite a lot. The original metal that Gillette used for a lot of their razors was what's called electroless nickel, and it's a very durable finish. Unfortunately, sometimes today people have issues with allergies around nickel. That's why you see chrome as such a popular choice. Chrome is just a clear coat that's actually put over nickel to make it hypoallergenic. So that's what you'll see like on a Mercure 34 or Edwin Jagger or some of Douglas's razors. Any of the razors out there really are doing chrome finishes for the most part. But in terms of what we offer, we do offer nickel, kind of in the Gillette tradition. And for some people that don't have an allergy problem, it's a beautiful finish. We also offer rhodium, which is a very lustrous, beautiful metal. I can actually, grab a couple pieces right here. See if you can see this. So you can see the sparkle that's coming off this rhodium finish. It's extraordinarily white and bright as compared to something like a nickel finish. Has a lot more of a gray kind of tone to it, a lot more of a dull kind of finish. So rhodium is by and far our most popular finish that we do. And this was a finish that Gillette only put on some of the most high-end razors that they had, like the President or the Executive. Some of these high-end Gillette razors would have a rhodium finish. The reason it's great is because it never tarnishes. So if you've ever had like silverware or something that, an old silver pewter glass or mug or something, you would notice that it starts turning black and oxidizes, and that's because it's reacting with oxygen. So rhodium is great because it's actually the second brightest metal on planet Earth, but it doesn't react with oxygen. And because of that, it will always stay this really lustrous, bright white finish, and it will never tarnish. You'll never have to polish it. Now, it may get soap scum on it, and much like any other razor, an Edwin Jagger, one of Douglas's razors will get soap scum, and you can just clean that off with the detergent. But it will never tarnish. So it's a beautiful non-tarnishing metal. And a lot of people think of rhodium, they'll call it white gold. And sometimes you'll see that like on jewelry. White gold is kind of like a misnomer. There's no such thing as white gold. White gold just means it's a platinum group metal, either palladium, platinum, rhodium. And so we can do rhodium here. That's definitely our most popular finish. We also can do 24 karat gold. So if you want to stick with a razor that maybe has an original gold look, we do it in 24 karat gold. Gillette did 14, they did 22, 23. We just go all out and do right to the top 24 karat gold finish for people. Another really popular finish that we've actually been pioneering. Let me see here. I actually wanted to debut this today on the show. This is going to be available in about 2 weeks. We're doing some additional testing on it, but we're going to start offering black nickel.
Ooh.
Oh,
nice.
That
very nice.
Sweet.
And so this is not a Cerakote finish. Maybe like Delta Echo does a great job doing Cerakote finishes, which are traditionally found on firearms. This is actually black nickel, and it's the exact same formulation as used on the iPhones. You'll notice like black nickel features and highlights, and we actually get the black nickel from the same vendor. So it's actually just makes things look really beautiful. This is with a satin finish. And so it's another capability we've been pioneering lately is using a glass bead blasting process to create more of a dull matte finish. But we can also do that same black finish in a high luster. So you actually will have a mirror shine. So this is like a black super adjustable that we just got done doing in a black nickel. And the reason we haven't made it available quite yet is we're wanting to make sure we do some field testing and actually get guys using these here. A lot of my local Phoenix customers end up being, exactly. They end up being guinea pigs for us. And so once we do a little more field testing, we want to make sure we're applying it at the right thickness and for durability. And then we'll release this out to people to be able to choose from, and they have something refinished by us.
Seriously, as soon as you showed that high polished one, my mouth filled up with saliva. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Those are beautiful. Wow.
That's great.
Oh,
yeah.
Those are gorgeous.
That's awesome stuff, man. That's really, really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And so based on your kind of explanation there, then would you say rhodium is probably is very durable and just very generally low maintenance?
Yeah, it would be. It is one of the more expensive things to do, but it's like a set it and forget it. Like once you do it, you should never have to redo it. The other really cool thing with rhodium is that it is extraordinarily hard. Like on the Rockwell hardness scale, it is one of the hardest metals. So actually like scratching it or dropping it really shouldn't affect it too much because it is such a hard metal. As compared on the far other side, as beautiful as gold is so soft. There's that old joke that you can kind of bite onto gold and tell if it's gold or just painted metal. And it's true. Gold is a very, very soft finish. So I recommend gold to people who maybe just like the look of gold or trying to remain historically correct or don't mind that it maybe in 5 or 10 years that gold finish will start wearing away. One thing we are trying to develop is a clear coating technology to go over our gold. And so hopefully maybe down the line we can do that. It requires some very complex machinery with creating a vacuum to actually apply that clear coat in a uniform pattern.
Very cool. Yeah.
And do you have an issue with the rose gold? Because I love the rose gold.
Beautiful.
And I've been going back and forth because I have a Fat Boy, which is my absolute favorite vintage razor. Don the Navy Gold actually gave it to me last year at the Big Shave West. And I've been going back and forth on whether to get it rhodium or rose gold because the rose gold just looks beautiful, dude. I really, that's just something special.
I'm actually going to grab, I hope I don't lose you guys. If I start getting choppy, please do tell me. I'm going to walk to my workshop. I wanted to grab a rose gold razor. We do offer rose gold. It is something that is a little more tricky. I would not say it's it's along the lines of regular 24 karat gold. It's not as durable as rhodium. So if you're looking for durability and everyday shaving, absolutely grab the rhodium.
Okay. Yeah, the Fat Boy, then I probably will have to go with the rhodium finish. One of my other razors, though, that rose gold, I think I have to have a rose gold razor in my life at some point.
Yeah, this is
they're so beautiful.
This is a super speed that's not all the way assembled yet. I'm actually in the back of the workshop right now, and
I love that.
Rose gold has a real peachy kind of salmony color. It's kind of hard to really appreciate the subtle hues of it, but it's a beautiful finish. But again, it's kind of like 24 karat gold. It's just, I wouldn't say it's for everyday shaving. If it's for that special razor or dads, or you want to put in the display case, rose gold's a great choice. But if it's an everyday shaver, consider nickel, black nickel, or rhodium.
And lastly, on this replating, have you guys ever attempted to plate some of this with some of your materials on a straight razor? Have you ever tried that? See if it'll hold.
Yeah. I mean, metal's metal, And we actually did do a tang section on a straight razor to kind of simulate the gold wash. And that's not something we've kind of explored a bunch of, but we certainly have tried it and it does work. And maybe in the future we'll offer it. But by and large, I mean, straight razors, as long as you give a nice mirror finish to them, they're going to be nice and shiny. For the gold wash application, I can see that being applicable, but otherwise I would just polish it.
What about?
I'm trying to find an excuse to have rose gold stuff in my house, Matt. You not try to talk me out of it.
Okay.
What about like a micromatic, a single edge? Do you do much with those?
Yeah, I mean, we can work on those, absolutely, no problem. I would recommend probably, again, the nickel would be a great choice, or rhodium even, yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. So are you back at your desk now, Matt?
Yeah, I can go sit down again. I was always
no.
who couldn't sit down in class.
I'm getting motion sickness. I was like watching the Blair Witch Project.
So aside from those new finishes, Matt, and whatnot, what else do you have new that's coming up this year, or what is 2016 looking like for you?
Whew. Well,
where do you see yourself in 5 years? No.
Now we're back in high school counseling.
Yeah, first date.
So razor finishing has been awesome, and we're always wanting to continue kind of that core part of our business that people know us for. Razor manufacturing is certainly going to be in our future here. We've already been experimenting with some straight razor grinding and straight razor honing. Not honing. We've done honing for a long time, but actually grinding out a straight razor from a blank of steel and then hardening the steel using like a kiln to heat treat it. So that's something we want to get more into. I know a lot of artisans out there do that. Doing it on an artisan level and doing it on a small manufacturing level are two kind of different things. So that is something that we want to really get more into, is small manufacturing, kind of along the lines of Grim Blades. Have you guys heard Luke Webster and Grim Blades? So that's something more, and he's a great guy. He's a good friend. He is up in Sandpoint, Idaho, and
he'll be at the Big Shave West also.
Oh, cool! That's awesome. I didn't know that. I know interviewed him before on the show.
I forgot. Yeah, we had Luke on for a hot minute. He came in. What show was that, guys?
We've done so many of these shows. There's no way we're going to remember what number it was. But
yeah,
I'm actually because I've had a couple conversations with him since, and he's good people, man. Luke's cool, man. I'm gonna be happy to meet him in person. That's good news.
Yeah. So something like this will be in our future. We've also been making strops. We've been making strops for about a year and a half, 2 years. So we make hundreds of strops every month, and we make them not only for our own company, but we make them for a couple other guys out there, other retailer stores, and so we make these here in the shop. We have Latigo, Horsehide, English Bridal.
Just real quick on that, Matt. Your guys' linen is probably my favorite linen I've ever felt. The linen you put on your strops is fantastic. I absolutely love it.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, we get that from back east. And I'm proud to say that every component of our strops is made in America. The hardware, the leather, the canvas, and they're made in our shop. And so, yeah, I'm really happy about that. And Douglas and I were talking about the other day, we think we'll bring out some of our leather hardware and actually be assembling strops at Big Shave West and showing people how it's done. And I know we actually produce them for Old Town Shaving Company. We make their strops for them as well.
Right.
That's cool.
I'm excited about
it. So I love seeing people actually make stuff. I really can't do nothing aside from shave myself. I can't do shit with my hands. So it's always fun.
No, this is going to be great. This I mean, in comparison to last year's Big Shave, and it was killer. It was kick-ass. But this year, I mean, at the last hour of last year's Big Shave West, I was already thinking about this year's Big Shave West and like everything that we were going to do differently. And this demo thing is just going to, like, this hands-on stuff is like, this just takes it to like level 3. And I'm so excited that Matt is bringing something to the table this year for that. Because I mean, like, it was when you brought that up, man, I was like, yes, that's exactly what. I didn't even talk to Damon. I was like, yes, do that.
Well, good.
It's going to be great. Then, with that said, with last year's experience and this year's experience, what are you thinking? And what are you predicting about the big shave? I mean, what's going on in your head?
I was really impressed last year. I thought that there was so much energy in the room, and I think people were just so excited for the opportunity to meet up. And I think that was, and I know Douglas has been to a lot of events, and you guys, I'm sure, have been to some local events. It's such a big factor that people only talk through the internet or talk through, Skyping or webcams like this, but to actually meet face to face and to hear someone laugh or to see their presence, and be able to share with them what you guys have been, I use this kind of razor, I use this kind of aftershave, I think that's one of the most unique parts. But taking it past just that kind of cursory introduction, I think that substance is going to count. And like Douglas said, having the talks, I know that Ryan Stephen Green helped really facilitate a lot of the lectures last year. I hope we have some more of those, and like the demos. We're so honored that in this community of ours, we have people like Douglas, like other soap makers out there. Like you said, Soap Commander is going to be there. Guys honing, guys making brushes, Nathan Clark. I think that the opportunity to see craftsmen do their craft is going to be really, really cool for people this year. So I'm glad that this idea has been kind of pushed forward, and I hope other people would be encouraged to want to come or participate in some kind of interaction with people. Because like I said, talking about everything's wonderful, but let's show them how it's done.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, well said. And this is going to be the year, and it's only going to get bigger. I think next year I want to see some like soap action happening there as well. I thought about bringing some crock pots this year, but the lie factor and people and little kids, like,
that'll be a little dangerous, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to work around that.
To see it, I would love to see it, but
there's legal things to consider. So until I figure out how to, I could set up like a boy in the bubble type situation where I'm behind plexiglass, like, in a jumpsuit. But
don't tap on the glass. It angers the soap maker. He'll throw a lie at you.
Right. No, this is great. And I'm glad you brought up the speakers from last year, Matt, because we've changed the format. And I have to say, this show is probably the inspiration for that. It's going to be panel discussions. It's funny. Last year, this is the thing about last year. Last year was so new and so fresh and so rushed for a lot of us that us as speakers, we showed up without anything really to talk about. So and a lot of us were there early. So we had 3 days to discuss what was going on. And I was like, let's just do panels. Let's do panels. And so up until the day, I think I told you when you got there, we're doing panel discussions instead. But then Damon set us all up and was like, nope. What it was is I think Rockwell and a couple other guys showed up and they were prepared. So they started off doing it. And so we were all stuck doing it then. But this year, no, I think it's going to be very, very cool to have panel discussions. Mantic's going to be part of that. I'm trying to get Leisure Guy, Michael Hamm as well, maybe to do a book signing. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know where he's at with that yet. But it's going to be awesome. That's what it all comes down to.
Looking forward to it.
Douglas, I have another question. I'm sorry. I'm kind of asking too many questions. I'm not accustomed to it, but
ask your question, David, and then we're going to open up the questions to the gallery. So you guys out there,
wait, damn it! If we have to go a little over,
something else. Anyways, they're not even paying attention to us.
I will approve extra time if we need to. I'll pay you guys your overtime if we need to go. But no, Matt. Last year you brought in a film crew to do an awesome video for YouTube. For those of you guys that haven't seen it, you should check out Razor Recording's video of last year's Big Shave West. So awesome. This year, with all of the demonstrations that are going to be going on live, is that something you think you're going to be doing again as well, or what do you have any plans on something like that this year?
Absolutely. We've already been asked by Damon to do that again. Last year's video was really good. There was some things about it I wish I could change. I think that I wish I could have edited it to be a little bit more expansive on everything and everyone going on that day. But at the same time, I think we wanted to capture the energy with that video. This year's video, we are going to have 2 operators. And we're going to do, I want to capture both any kind of demos happen, any kind of talks, but then I also want to just have another camera going around to talk to the crowds, talk to people, get more of the B-roll. And so absolutely we want to do that. Multimedia is a very big component of Razor Emporium in our education. I'm very lucky to have a kind of an in-house team member, Marissa Neal, help a lot with that. And this year, you'll see even more YouTube videos from us. In 2015, she kind of stepped into a role of a lot of office management and day-to-day stuff. We found another replacement for that. So this year, 2016, will be a ton of videos.
Awesome.
Very cool. That's great. You know, I have you here also, Matt, before we hop into these questions, what I was trying to do last year was crowdsource almost for footage of the big show. I was encouraging people attending to take their own footage and then shoot me it afterwards, and we were going to put it together and compile it, but that didn't end up working out. But this year, I'm actually looking at doing that again. Would you consider splicing some footage from people on the scene as well into the documentary?
Yeah, I think that'd be.
I don't know how it would work on Marissa's end, but I mean, like, the more we can capture.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Maybe we can set up some kind of Dropbox account or something where people can drop on or email their videos or upload it to a shared YouTube channel or something. As long as we get a good quality. Marissa actually went to film school. She has a degree in filmmaking. So again, I'm really lucky to have her talent. And so she's always so concerned about high quality. And so as long as we have people, and these phones these days, I mean, gosh, these iPhone 5 or 6 or Nexus or whatever, sure. If we have good quality, we absolutely want to use it. In fact, I just got a message here on the sidebar that said, could you also have a video booth where attendees get their 15 seconds of fame?
So that's awesome.
That'd be kind of cool. I like that idea.
Well, that'll be your table. We'll have a little section on your table.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Absolutely.
I'll just walk around with my GoPro on my head and just.
Yeah, that's what I was doing last year, Scott. It was ridiculous. I had a GoPro, I had a podcast. It was stupid.
That's
really and I still haven't done anything with it. It was just I caught so much. I was like doing this for hours that I still haven't sat down and looked at any of it yet. So when we do the 5-year, the movie in 5 years, I'll take some stuff from that. But so that said, folks in the gallery, do you have any questions for Matt or any of the other guys on the panel today? I know I see one where it's kind of random, but not really since we're a wet shaving show. But it's some guy, it looks like a newbie, Donald Brandt, is asking what's a good straight razor to buy. And I guess that would, for me, well, to answer first, I think it just depends on how much you're willing to spend. Take it from there, Matt.
Well, I think that Douglas is right. Straight razors are like buying a car. I always use a car analogy.
A lot of stuff.
I know, right? You can get the car that has just 4 wheels and will get you from A to B, or you can go all out and get the little sports car, with the big engine and all that kind of stuff. And the same goes with straight razors. Companies like Dovo or Thiers-Essard, or even Grim Blades, they do a great job making introductory level razors in the price point of, $150 to $250. You can even get really good gold dollars these days. We do a lot of the reworking of gold dollars. We put new handles on them. We put a new bevel, and we sell them for $50, and we sell tons of them. People love gold dollars. We're not the only vendor that does it. A million other people out there, Esposito and a million other guys sell gold dollars. They're great quality grinds of steel. They're hardened really well, but they're not really honed very well. So as long as you get them sharpened properly, they usually shave really well. But on the other end of the scale, you can get up to a big 7/8 chopper or 8/8 chopper, something crazy, and spend $500 or $1,000 on a straight razor. But I think really you need to start with the basics. Get something in the 5/8 range, round tip, so that you don't catch maybe your neck or your face, your lip with the tip if it's a square point. So a round tip 5/8 is kind of the adage that everyone says, and it's for a good reason.
Just to add on that one, if you guys by chance do get a square point razor, make sure you get it from somebody reputable, and if that person is legit, they could actually mute the tip on a round point. So even though there is a chance you could dig into yourself a little bit with a muted point, it's going to really limit that. Because myself, I prefer a square point over anything else. That's just my favorite. It is what it is. But I've also had razors, even being 3-4 years into straight razor shaving, I had a double dug gold edge, and that fucking tip was the sharpest shit ever. And I would catch myself with it, and I don't know
what
what
were the
it
scales like on that one. Was that one of those really ugly ones, or was it one of those really cool ones, dude?
Gorgeous. The stock on a double duck, on a lot of the double gold edge, satin edge, the grim one, they're gorgeous. If you could get a double duck razor in good condition with the stock scales, they're one of the most attractive stock scales of any razor. But yeah, that particular one. But yeah, if you get a good honer, ask them to use the tip. Let them know that you're a beginner shaver, and we could take care of that for you, and it won't be too big of a problem because just sometimes you get a good deal on a damn square point razor, man, and you want to use it. So yeah, just
I'm the same way. I actually prefer the Spanish point or the Irish, where it's either square or kind of really pointy, or even a French tip, where you can have it's curved but then straight down to the end. And French tips are great.
Attractive. It's just a very attractive point. I love the French tip.
Very, very cool looking razors. But yeah, you do have to be really careful when you start out with them, because that tip of the edge will catch you if you're not careful. I've caught myself many times, especially like up around my ears.
Yeah.
It's nasty when you catch yourself with that edge. So you do have to be careful, but they can be just absolutely gorgeous razors.
Donald, if you're still with us, are you looking for a particular brand to start off with? Or, I mean, I'm just assuming you haven't used a straight razor before, and this may be your first time stumbling into a wet shaving forum. So if you want to expand on that question, we're here for you, buddy. But I think we covered what he's asking.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Just guy was named Don. I just want to say, hey, what's up to Don, the Navy goat? He just recently got out of the hospital, man. I'm glad you're joining us today, bro.
Yeah, good to have
you. That you're better and you're home, man. So thank you for joining us today.
Wow, Don, you made your way. Don needs. Let's give Don an applause. But it's not often that Don can find his way into Wet Shavers Roundtable. I always, after the fact, he emails me, I couldn't get on again. So welcome, Don, and congratulations. Welcome back to life.
He was up in the comments saying that he just couldn't miss Matt, so good to have him out of the hospital.
Here's a rather important wet shaving question. What is your favorite type/brand of gin? Everyone may answer. I think it's always, for me, Hennessy, of course, but Boodles. If you can find Boodles, not only is the bottle extremely sexy, it's also a great name, but it's a great dry gin from London, and it's affordable. So Boodles, baby. You guys
never heard of that.
Boodles.
I told you a while back why I laugh at Boodles, but don't worry about
it. Yes, you did.
That's the name I've ever heard said on this show, like Boodles.
It's a British thing. Don't try to understand it. Okay, I see. Band T. I didn't realize you were asking this publicly, but it's just Champagne is a soap I released. I did 2 versions of, released it on New Year's, fittingly enough, and for the moderators in my forum, they all got a special version of that. And so there was a Gourmand and there was an Oriental. Those 2 scents were released to the public. The mods got a Fougere. So hope that answers that question. And what else we got? Navy Goat got our applause. Get it. Out of body experiences. We want to hear about that.
Wow.
Like girls' locker room type. I mean, like cool stuff, or like.
That's awesome.
Any more questions out there, guys, on the wet shave or for Matt?
Waiting, I have one for Matt.
Sure.
Okay. So Matt, you've got that huge toggle behind you.
Size matters.
Size does matter, and I'm assuming you can't find blades for that. But oh, there you go.
Boom!
Lawyer.
Did you just pick those up, Matt? Did you just get those?
Yeah, I'm fixing for a shave.
I think I need to get one of those to shave my head.
Yeah.
No, you hear mixed reviews about toggles.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, what's your take on the toggle? Because I mean, there's a lot of people that love to use them, but other people just like them just because of the look, and it's kind of a prize to have a toggle. But, what's your take on them?
Gillette. Sorry, I'm like rearranging stuff over here. Gillette was not looking to, have their last incarnation with a toggle. Just the opposite. It was their very first incarnation, and it came out at a price point of $15. It was so high, and it was only put out for a few months, and they tried lowering it down to $10. The entire time they were developing the Fat Boy behind the scenes and trying to make it cheaper. And they put that out, the Fat Boy, and then after that, they were already developing a slim adjustable behind the scenes. So from Gillette's standpoint, from a manufacturing, they were just trying to get guys who liked the Super Speed Trio from the 1950s, the blue tip, the flare tip, the red tip Super Speed. They were trying to get those guys to have one razor handle that could shave across all of those. In fact, if you look at the adjustment on any Gillette adjustable, the 1, 2, and 3 are actually a blue tip in terms of their blade gap. The 4, 5, and 6 are your flare tip, and your 7, 8, 9 are your red tip. And you can measure that with a feeler gauge. If you put a blade in there, those increments will actually work out to be roughly the Super Speed Trio in one handle. In terms of a functionality, I think the Slim Adjustable is actually the best adjustable razor made. And the reason is, as compared to a Fat Boy, you have a slimmer head. And I think that for getting underneath your nose or for tight, kind of spaces, it's not, a terrible amount of difference, but it's noticeable. And so I think that the Slim Adjustable was the last version. I mean, then they went to, of course, the Super Adjustable with, the aluminum handle. But for an all-metal razor, you can't beat a Slim. I think the toggles are really neat. We get a lot of them in here for service for a reason. They are the most complex Gillette razor ever made. There's literally, I think, 5 springs. There's a ball bearing. There's the clicker. It is a mess to work on. We don't enjoy working on them. We do get a lot of them in, and I think they're neat. They're collectible. But for everyday shaving, I think if you just are looking for a great shave, get a Slim. You won't pay as much money. And I think the head is a lot more flat and shallow, and you can probably use it a little bit better as well.
Slim. Yeah, hence the word.
The blade Slim to be a bit more aggressive, though, because I use all my adjustables at a 5. And I found the Slim to be, I don't know, it feels more aggressive to me than the Fat Boy. Is that just my own mind? Or is this something you've noticed that maybe...
Well, it's like comparing 2 different 1965 Mustangs. To compare them now, I mean, decades later after they're made, it's really hard. In fact, we run into this problem all the time with servicing so many vintage razors. The actual blade adjustment gaps, they varied. And not just after being dropped and stuff, but even when they were being manufactured, there were slight tolerance differences. So apples to apples, it's really hard to compare. When we work on these and they're completely disassembled, when we put them back together, we do have a baseline that we set every adjustable back to, and it's in that same kind of spirit of trying to make it like the blue tip, flare tip and red tip razor. So we actually do have a baseline measurement that's actually 0.015 inches is what the number 1 should be. That's if you load a blade in and you take a feeler. Have you guys ever seen a feeler gauge?
No. In fact, I wrote that down so I could pick one up, actually.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll take you on let me just walk back to the shop again. I'll grab my gauge and I can show you how to measure it. All right, so I'm here at a workstation, and I'm going to take a Fat Boy here, and I'm going to just drop a blade into it. Another common thing that we end up telling people all the time with these adjustables, go ahead and adjust the numbers and then tighten it down. That's another big thing people don't do, and if you don't at least loosen it up and adjust, you end up kind of pushing the brake and the gas at the same time. these little razors have a tray right here that just moves up and down. And if that tray can't move, then it really can't adjust. So it's really important this tray can move up and down, and you can see that happening right here. But so I'm going to put this razor in here at number 1, and I'm going to grab my gauge. It's just a series of little thin wafers of metal, and they actually have varying thicknesses. And so I got my 0.15, and they have little tiny markings on them. You can probably barely see that right there. Yeah. There so I'm actually going to put it like this on the razor and actually measure this gap here. And as I do all the final checkouts of the razors here, so I will actually measure to make sure that the blade gap is 0.15 on both sides before this razor is able to go home. And if it needs to be adjusted, it's pretty simple. I can show you guys how we do that. Let me grab a pair of pliers.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm picking some up.
Yeah, you can get these at Michael's or at a jewelry supply store. The most important part is they're just nylon-tipped pliers. And all we're going to do is really carefully bend the guard accordingly. A lot of times the guard is dropped. Like if someone dropped this on the ground, it'll push the guard up. So we have to get that back down. So we have one pair of pliers that actually go inside and can pull this down. We have these pair of pliers that I just happen to grab that are for pushing up. And so we actually will just kind of adjust this like so and just kind of carefully, that's the word, is carefully adjust that. Now, if you don't have nylon tip pliers, you can probably get away with maybe a flat pair of pliers with some electrical tape on them, or maybe even duct tape would be better, something really, really thick. So that's how we would do it here in the shop, is just to adjust that. And we make sure that it's flat and uniform all the way across the gap.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Very cool.
Man, the things you learn by watching Wet Shavers Roundtable.
We have another question from Christian Levitt. Christian, what are you asking? What is your impression of okay, this is to you, Matt. What is your impression of the size of the traditional wet shaving market? Bigger, stable, your business activity? Can you see that question, Matt, on your end?
Yeah.
Okay,
I can see that. Yeah. So, like I kind of said earlier in my introduction, it's been really, really crazy over the course of 10 years to, watch this thing change from, Shave My Face and the very first, Badger and Blade, of course, and Shave Den, just a couple forums. That's all there really was. To now with Facebook and a million shaving groups and podcasts and YouTube channels and all that kind of stuff. No, it's great. I think it's absolutely amazing. I think that it's not even fully realized. I think that we have years more growth to go. Mm-hmm. I think that the kind of guy that's into wet shaving is the same kind of guy that likes craft beer or good gin, a nice cigar, maybe dresses in nicer clothes, that kind of stuff. So I think that it's not like we're looking for shaving guys. We're looking for regular guys who want a high quality experience. And they want it throughout their life. They don't want to, just, driving a nice car, having a nice cell phone, having a nice leather pair of shoes. They want to have nice quality things and enjoy their experiences. So I think that the market has nothing to do but grow. In terms of our business activity, without getting into too much detail, 3 years ago, I was working in my garage by myself. And now I have 7 employees, and we have a 1,500 square foot workshop. We're ready to move into a bigger workshop. So, we're growing tremendously every year, and we have thank you. We have nothing but up to go.
That's awesome.
Arizona, for a job, so just make sure you
have one waiting for him.
I'm actually really. I'm really, really proud to say that one of the gentlemen you guys will be meeting at Big Shave West is our in-house Honemeister, Eric Engel. And he does all of our sharpening. He does all of our scale making, all of our polishing of straight razors. And he was a customer that came in and literally was interested in straight razors, and we ended up hiring him because we needed someone to do straight razor work. And our leather worker who makes our strops, again, was a customer. So I'm really happy to say that 2 of our customers started off two of our employees started off as customers.
That's cool. Christian just piped in and just said, that, and I had a feeling that his question was related to this, that we just had this week, we had 3 soap makers drop out of the market.
Wow, so, I've been gone on my honeymoon. So what did I miss?
Yeah, so we had Strop Shop left the market, Tim's Soaps left the market, and who's the other one that I
Knockout Shaves.
Knockout Shaves, that's who it was. And so it's really sad. And a few people have been discussing this over the past year or so, that maybe that segment of the market is getting kind of congested or kind of
saturated.
Thank you. And I've had that feeling for a little while, because I've kind of found, you see new soapers come out every few weeks, really, that are offering new product. And really, I've gotten to the point where I have my 5 or 6 standards that I'm really pretty happy with. I still am willing to try out the new guys, of course, but it's an interesting dynamic that we have a very hobby-oriented market. And I don't think that the growth of the number of people is growing as fast as the number of artisans.
Well, I think you're wrong. You're just focusing on the forums, Scott.
Maybe
outside, there's life outside the forums. So
no, there's not. Life is just the forums.
The vendors that I think we're talking about, I think they relied too much on the forums. And I also think when this is a trend that happens throughout every industry, is once one person goes under, it suddenly gives permission to anyone else that was questioning should they be doing this or not to do it also. So it's almost psychological. Whether it's actually means anything at all, I don't know. But you'll have all these like armchair economists come out into Facebook and discuss what's going on right now. And it's like they don't. I'm in the business. Matt's in the business. I mean, we sit back and we watch this and we're like, you guys. You got to be on this end to really know what you're talking about. There's nothing wrong with that, but I mean, like, that's just what I'm seeing right now. Matt, what do you have to add to that?
Well, I have kind of a unique perspective in some sense.
Because he's 7 feet tall.
Yeah. I don't really fit in with a lot of other guys out there. It's kind of hard to paint me into what exactly we do, because we do sell Mercurs and Ebon Jaggers, but we restore vintage. We do straight razors. So I could tell you, though, there are a lot of soap makers, but I don't think there are a lot of great soap companies. And this is not at all a commentary towards people like Douglas that make soap, but I think that making the actual soap is quite it's not a terribly challenging obstacle to overcome. I think the challenging thing that companies like Douglas have done, or WSP, or any other Soap Commander, any other great soap company, has actually been able to do something unique with it, make a great formula, make a great scent, package it, promote it. If you don't have those competencies down, I think the actual soap making isn't what's challenging to people. I think it's learning how to be relevant in a crowded room. There already are companies out there that will do the process, but how do you actually sell your product? How do you actually stand out? And again, I'm not trying to stroke Douglas's ego because this is his program or anything, but Douglas has done a wonderful job at continuing to stay relevant and staying in front of people's computer screens and people seeing him every day. Other companies like WSP
soap every week.
Well, yeah, exactly. But hey, that's part of his company and his brand. Yep. And I think that the guys who just want to make the product and they love the soap making, they probably will fall out the wayside, because you have to market yourself. And I don't think anyone knows that more than Douglas.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot like being in a band or like in a college town.
Yeah.
Where you have people that are actually going to school for music that want to get out there and make money, get paid, but everyone's willing to play for free at all the clubs. And it's almost like you have to unionize to stay in the game. There was some type of point I was trying to make there. I don't even know what it was.
Well, but I do. It's easy to have the passion. It's easy to have the hobby. It's hard to have the business. It's hard to take something and scale it up. It's hard to market yourself and, like I said, try to have some kind of product differentiator or have something that makes you really unique or stand out.
Well, and
yes, and the cost of entry is so low too that you get folks in the business that maybe have never even taken a business class or even considered being their own boss before. It just kind of happens. And there's two types of people in the world. There's people that are need to work for somebody, and there's people that need to be their own boss. And the biggest thing, the biggest problem is when you don't know which one you are, and you learn it as you go. And so I think that has a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah. Well, and
Scott?
with the people that have been dropping out, and no commentary on their soap, because they all make great products. I've tried all of them.
Right.
They all have solid formulas. They all have solid scents. Great products, but there are a few things that you notice about them, that they're not as active in the forums, that you don't hear from them all that often. I mean, every now and then when they had a new product or something like that, you might hear from them. But honestly, and it might just be that it's not their full-time gig. Douglas, this is his full-time gig. He lives or dies by sale of his products. Whereas a lot of these other guys, they were part-timers.
Scott, I don't think you could have said it better. And I'm a huge fan of the show Shark Tank or CNBC's The Profit. If you guys are like business and stuff, you should watch those. Yeah. And that's one of the first things that someone like Mark Cuban will say, that if you're not in it to win it, if you're not in this full time, it's not your full time gig. You really can't stay focused on two different gods. Like who's your master? Is it who pays your day job, or is it your craft? And I can fully attest to that. Razor Emporium started in 2010. I was a marketing director for a hospital, and I did that. And I was trying to do Razor Emporium at night, and trying to answer customer emails and trying to get orders out the door and work in the garage. You just can't do it after a while. And what ends up suffering, I hate to say it, is your customers. Yeah. Your business is what suffers. And until it became full time for me, which was in 2013, it didn't really become really serious. But that's also when I saw my business really, really grow, is when it had my full attention. So I would tell you, if you're an artisan or craftsman or trying to get started, you have to put everything in. Because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will.
Yep.
It's true.
And leap of faith there.
Well, that's what it is. It's a leap of faith that you sometimes just don't know when to take. It takes like someone else telling you, you got to do this. My mentor and my old boss for 15 years, he's the one who told me, he's like, you got to go. He's like, I don't need you here anymore. He's like, you got your own thing going on. You can't see this, but I can totally see that you can do this. Just get out there. And I would have stayed on another 6 months, another year, maybe. I'd probably still be there. So sometimes you need another person that isn't as close to it as you to tell you it's time, And so we're telling you right now, artists out there, you got to grow or go home.
Yep. Right. Be serious about it.
And a lot of you, and that's what it is. I see a lot of new ones out there that are making names for themselves, and that might be it right there, then and there.
We had one on last week, Mickey Lee Soapworks. I mean, they're doing it together. It's more her it's kind of her full-time gig. He's enlisted, so he doesn't really have the option to get out right now. But, so that's their own situation, but she's putting a heck of a lot of effort into it, and it's serving them really well, and hopefully they stick around. I actually got some samples of their stuff this week. I'm looking forward to trying them out, but
I think Mickey Lee will be here for a long time. Yeah. There's a lot of them that I think will be here for a long time, and everyone's just trying to figure out how to do that. I think suddenly permission was given last week for everyone, for people to throw in the hat if they wanted to. And I think that's what happened. But I think we're getting over that. Maybe there'll be a little more of a culling, if you will. But I don't know. I have total faith. It's just
I wondered if it had anything to do with tax season.
Well, honestly, I don't know, because I know Knockout Shaves, that wasn't Artisan. Well, it was Artisan Soap, I believe. But I know Ralph wasn't making it. He was private labeling it. So that makes me wonder, was Straub Shop maybe making his soap, or was one of the, like when one disappears and you're relying on him
private labeling it, huh?
Yeah, he was private labeling it. So
I just
wanted to tied together, maybe. Yeah.
I wanted to comment on that. Douglas is a retailer, both and an artisan, a maker of something. And someone asked earlier, what are we seeing for business trends? One trend I can tell you is that things that are exclusive to our store, or we make, or we touch, or we, whatever, those do the best for us. And so I think anyone who wants to do their own thing, you can't just be a middleman for too long, or that can't be a major part of your business, because there's companies like West Coast Shaving or Classic Shave or Royal Shave. There's a million of these companies that are huge, kind of big box. Yeah. Well, they're big box retailers. They're like the Walmart, and they're great. They have all the selection, they have all the products. But if you want to be a maker of something, that has to be, your bread and butter. And that's the thing that's going to really set you apart, is what you make or what you touch. And you can't try to do it, kind of the middle of the road where you want to have a soap with your logo on it, but you really don't want to make it.
It can't just be a turnkey product.
No, if you can do it here and there, like we have the King R Emporium with PAA. We have the Connecticut Yankee with WSP. Those are great, but we don't write our paychecks to our employees with those two soaps.
You've got to sell it. If you're going to private label, you're going to focus on selling and selling and selling.
Yeah, exactly.
Your margins. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. West Coast Shaving, I don't know if you guys know this also, they got bought out.
I did hear that. Yep, I heard that.
Yep, West Coast Shaving got bought out.
I had no idea.
Yeah, some company in New York bought that. They're just picking up profitable businesses in West Coast Shaving. So that's another one. I don't know if many people.
They got acquired then by a.
They sure did. And I see some of the guys from the South Florida wet shaving page. Guys, I don't know if you see the shirt or not, but I'm rocking it. And for those of you who didn't see this before, check out this shirt.
Nice.
There we go.
Thanks again, Anthony, for the shirt. It's almost a perfect fit. I just need to get to the gym after here and fill it out a little. Get pumped.
It's full.
Another thing I'd like to do before we cut off for the evening, because it seems to be we're running out of time. Just released these today. Strange Island. I don't know if you guys have seen these. This is part 2 of the trilogy I'm doing right now, but we just released them today, and it's killer. It's it's sage, lavender, and copaiba balsam. It's magical stuff that happened. Another thing I'd like to do really quick is just read once again the listings, or a listing of folks, vendors, artisans that will be at the Big Shave West. Because again, it's just growing from week to week. So we got Mickey Lee Soapworks that are in it for sure now. Last week they were questioning, they weren't sure. They were at 90%. It's 100%. They're going to be there. Above the Tie, we're going to have Stan there from Above the Tie. Nathan Clark, Colonel Conk, Da Vinci Brushes. Do you guys know Da Vinci Brushes?
No. I'm familiar with them, yes.
Yeah. I am. Okay. Edwin Jagger, Feather Blades, Jeeves of Hudson, Laywright Pomade, Local Gent Shave Co., LA Shaving Company, Nate Straits. Yeah, Nathan Zawada is going to be there.
Yes.
He's going to guest on the show as well. Obsessive Soap. Obsessive Soap Perfectionist. I don't know if that. I think that's 50%. He's going to be there now. So we'll play this week to week on that one. Razor Emporium is going to be there. So Sharp Limited, St. James of London, Tiki Bar Soap, WSP, Zen Shave, The Shaving Shop, Stray Whisker. For guest speaker, for people on the panel, we have Khan, of course. He's going to be there with a Stray Whisker. Nathan Clark will be part of the panel. Ryan Stephen Green, Mantic, Matt Pisarcik, myself, possibly Leisure Guy.
Awesome.
And it's going to be good. They're actually, Damon's trying to put together like a little brew spotlight as well as part of the offerings at the Big Shave West. So he'll have a bunch of different micro brews from the local area there. Yeah, so that's going to be happening. So it's a free admission, free for vendors. So if you're a vendor watching this or an artisan watching this and you're interested in being there, we'll give you a table. It's your table. Do what you want with, as long as you keep your pants on. That's free. Free. There is a $49 swag bag, but again, it's free admission off the top. But if you want the swag bag, which comes with a T-shirt, the official soap and aftershave of the event, a slew of samples, raffles, drink tickets, lunch tickets. There'll be barbecue there, craft beer, food, giveaways. So straight razor shaves. There's a lot going on there. And Soap Commander just signed up. So Soap Commander's going to be there now too. We'll have Darren on board. So that's what's going to be happening at the Big Shave West as of yet. And again, as I said, each week it seems to be growing. And the momentum's there, and it's got to be huge. I'm so excited about this.
Yes.
So, any last questions for Mr. Matt Pisarcik before we sign off? Get them in now, folks. Until then, David, Scott, do you have anything for Matt?
I do.
Take it.
What was the most or the rarest or the most expensive razor you ever had come through your shop or sell?
Gosh, I've done some cleaning on General Patton's razor.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We've done stuff. I've sold some razors for $5,000. I mean, it just depends. I mean, some Gillette,
Holy cow.
The General Patton razor, is that at the museum?
The one that's in the Smithsonian?
No. There's a General.
California.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's a roadside attraction. It's part of a gas station.
No, it was actually from his family members. We've had razors come through that belong to King C. Gillette. I would say that the most rare razor I've ever held. I did some consulting work for Procter & Gamble, and I actually helped them clean and catalog the entire Gillette collection. And I got to hold one of 3 original prototypes from 1901 before the release of the very first Gillette. I held the razor that King C. Gillette personally approved, and I was able to photograph it as well. And so that was probably the greatest honor I've ever had. Yeah, but it's been fun. A lot of fun times collecting and buying and selling and building a business out of it and getting to do what I love every day.
That's really cool.
Excellent. Okay, so it looks like the community, as at this point, Matt, they're just thanking you.
Cool. Well, hey, yeah.
They're not typically just quiet. What's going on, guys? You've humbled them.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably blabbing too much. I was going to give everyone I'm pacing because I wanted to give everyone a tour of the shop, but I think we're out of time.
Guys, do you want a quick tour of the shop from Matt? Speak up now, if forever holds your peace. Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
We want, dude. We're not paying nobody to be on air. Let's do it, baby.
All right, we'll do it from the standpoint of the customer. So the customer walks in. I actually have Douglas to thank for our cool logo on our door. He told me how to get a sticker printed up.
Nice.
So you come in the door, and we have a small lobby out here with some shaving products, soaps, and aftershaves. People can sample and smell. We have some razors over here for people to be able to take a look at. Edwin Jaggers, Icons, Parkers, Merkers, some brushes. It's not a huge selection out here in the lobby. We do so much mail order. We probably see about 5 or 6 customers a day, but it's definitely been picking up. Our next location is actually going to have a lot more lobby space. Some of our strops to choose from. And funny enough, this building had this really kind of cool glass window here. I guess it used to be a dojo, so parents used to watch their kids fighting back here. And so you come around here, and we're kind of in the back shop now. And this is where we have work orders for customers' items for us to work on. We catalog what process it's going to be done. We have some cleaning machines here, ultrasonic machines. You come over here, and we have all of our products. If you're going to have something shipped, it's going to come out of these bins, so we can quickly grab product and get it out the door for people. Over here we have
really quick, ultrasonic machines. You see this question come up a lot in the forums and whatnot, and this is for the noobs. I'm asking this, but they find these cheap ultrasonic cleaners on eBay for like $25, $50, and they talk about using them. Tell them they're just using hot water. Tell them what they really need, Matt.
Yeah, if you're just gonna do an at-home cheap razor restoration, I always tell people use your dishwasher. It's hot. It has soap. It has steam cleaning, which is sanitary. That's going to do better than a cheap ultrasonic. Our ultrasonics are probably actually the smallest you'd want to go, and these are like $500-$600. They do a lot of work for us, but if you're just trying to sanitize, I don't think your $30 or $50 ultrasonic are really going to do much. That's meant for like jewelry.
Yeah.
So we have
go on.
a repair station over here. We have some leather polishing equipment. Actually, this is the machine I'll be bringing to Big Shave. This is what we do all of our tune-ups on. It's like a little jewelry polishing machine. So I'll be bringing that to do free tune-ups for customers. Gigantic spool of bubble wrap. This is actually where Eric sits and does all of his honing. So he has his stones out and has all of his kind of tools put away for the weekend. But this is kind of the sharpening area. Also have different saws, like a scroll saw and a band saw to do any kind of scale making. Drill press to drill out the pins on a straight razor. Let's see, a radial arm saw for big fabrication stuff. This is our hydraulic press. All of our strops are made using this machine. So we actually cut them out with different cookie cutters, kind of a thing like this. So if like this is a handle for a strop, and you'll put your big hide of leather on here, and it'll push down and cut out that shape a million times or whatever. Exactly the same. Here we have razors that are different kind of processes. So you have to take off all the original metal and get them down to the brass. Like that's a slim adjustable handle that's been taken down to the brass. We do that chemically. And then you can actually start to polish that metal to make it look nice. You can't just dip it in some kind of liquid metal. That doesn't do anything. You have to clean the surface really, really well. It's a lot like painting. You have to do a lot of prep work before you can actually get it ready to go. So I'm stepping now into a polishing room. This is a self-contained room in our shop that has all of our polishing equipment, air filtration equipment. So we can actually grind here and do all the polishing work without it interfering with the rest of the workshop. We can do sandblasting.
What you're telling us, Matt, is that's the room you grind in?
It's a room I grind in.
Sorry.
Yeah, little belt grinder over here. And then I'm going to step into the laboratory here. So this is actually where our electroplating happens.
Cool.
So we have different tanks that do different things. This is a stripping tank. This is a cleaning tank. This is acid. Oh, sorry, where are we? And we have over here copper.
Don't drop your computer, Matt.
Nickel. I know. I'm holding my computer. We have a small plating line. Like, for instance, that if you have a rhodium razor from us, everything comes out of this tank. That's our rhodium. That's 24 karat gold. It's not like liquid. It's a salt. It's how plating works. So we have all of our electrical equipment up here to do the plating, and that's that area. Cool. It's all self-contained as well. That's kind of the shop. I mean, it's not terribly big, but it gets the job done.
That's awesome.
No, it's very cool. Thank you for the tour. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Nice.
Great.
So Matt, Matt, where are you located?
We are in Phoenix, Arizona. And yeah, come on by. We're right off of the I-17 at Peoria Avenue, right by Metro Center.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, thanks again for joining us, Matt. And for those of you who would like to meet Matt in person that aren't in Phoenix or around Phoenix, you have another chance to meet up with Matt and the rest of us at the Big Shave West happening this April 23rd in Pasadena, California at the Old Town Shaving Company. So
Old Town.
Please be there. Old Town. Be there. Sundays. Actually, it's Saturday. So that's coming up, folks. We're probably about 6 weeks out from that. And again, this has been yet one more scorching episode of the Wet Shavers Roundtable, episode 37. We'll be back next week with episode 38. And until then, shave on.
Shave it up, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot, guys.